I took a while to get here. As you saw in the last video, my parents came with me initially. We brought my truck, my mom's Honda Pilot, in a trailer full of shit. It took us about 2 days to get here. Well, let me restart. We came up a long time ago. I want to say in early September. It's roughly 800 miles. We drove 600 miles on one day, drove 200 miles up here, met with my landlord, who I had never met before. I'd only talked to him on the phone. Checked the apartment out, signed the lease, drove about 300 miles, spent the night, got in the car, and drove another 4 or 5, whatever, to get back to Houston. And a little 3-day trip. Didn't really do much of shit while we were here, because we weren't here but for a couple of hours. But I really, that whole trip was, come up here and check out the place. And if I like it, sign the lease. If I don't, go check out a couple of others that I'd already looked at. And sign, find somewhere where you're going to go and sign the lease. Yeah! Narrow roads. We were prepared to spend a couple of days here, but we didn't really expect to, and we didn't have to, so it all worked out. God, this is a shaky-ass road, and I don't mean that from the trees. That too, but no. Then we went back to Houston and killed a couple of days, packed up all my stuff, and I think it was the following week, we loaded up all this shit and we drove up here. It took 2 days to get here. We spent 3 days here unloading and doing a little shopping and, picking up random bullshit that you need whenever you move and you get rid of all your crap. Then we drove back, and I left my truck here and drove back with my parents, which was not a good idea. Me and my dad don't really, we get along just fine, but you put us both in the same car for 12 hours, we'll fucking kill each other. Limited flight distance. Again, I have a feeling I'm going to see that a lot. I took a couple of days, turned into a week and a half, because this bitch needed a little bit of work. And, nice house up there. Sorry, ADD. Squirrel! If you've ever seen Up, you'll know what I'm talking about. God, that's an awesome house. Holy shit. I doubt you can see it, but it's right up there. Anyway, the bike needed a little bit of work, and it was giving me a little attitude. I basically wanted to take it in. Well, I think you saw the video when I was talking about steering head bearings. That took a little longer than expected because they had to wait for parts to come in from Egypt, I guess. I don't fucking know. Probably had to go clear around the goddamn planet before they found the right place. But anyway, it's wet. I hate that. And it's barely wet too. Jesus. I have to remember not to come down here when it's below freezing. So I got the bike fixed, and I loaded up all the rest of my shit. And I didn't get it all, by the way. When I go back to Houston tomorrow for the holidays, I am taking the truck so I can, be warm, and so I can load up the rest of my stuff, like my office chair, and I don't really know what else, but there's more there. But fuck. I'll look at the pile and go, yeah, that. Yeah, this fucking road sucks. It's kind of enjoyable, but hot point. Oh, I know how to get there from up above. Ew, gravel. I hope this bitch doesn't stay like this. Anyway, I'm taking the truck so I can get the rest of my shit. But where was I? Yeah, so I was gonna ride back up here, and I expected it to take 3 or 4 days. Okay, my basic plan was to go halfway to where we were, may still go for the Ozarks meet. And then go up and check that place out, and then take a day or two to get from there, which is way up on the north side of Arkansas, to get here. You know, it's about a 12-hour drive to get here from there. And that's not what I want to do on a single day. Ooh, pretty. Well, Mother Nature changed plans. We sat around and sat around and sat around and sat around waiting for this fucking cold front to go through. And it never did. And we were looking for it on radar maps and maps of this and maps of that and all this shit. And we never saw a goddamn thing. It made it into the panhandle and then disappeared. So I was like, well, fuck it. I'll leave Tuesday, right? It showed up Tuesday. I pulled into this little town to meet up with Super Drake and have some dinner. And it was raining cats and dogs and thundering and lightning. And he said that he was hearing on the radio that they were talking about tornadoes and shit. And I didn't have any rain gear. I didn't have any cold weather gear because it was supposed to get cold. I didn't have my riding boots because they wouldn't fit my side cases because they were just getting too heavy. It was ridiculously heavy. So I had to edit some stuff out there. It was ridiculous. So I stayed there, which was a good 200 miles shy of where I'd intended to stay. And then the next day I rode up into Arkansas, and it was colder than fuck because this goddamn cold front just went through. And I made it all the way to Russellville and said, fuck it. The next day I got up and I went and made a loop around the Ozarks, a short one that still took like 2.5, 3 hours, which I shouldn't have done. I thought it was going to go a little faster than that, but shit happens. I was freezing my balls off the whole damn way. And then the last day I rode to the other side of Arkansas and got colder than hell, and it just kept getting more and more miserable. And then I made it into like Huntsville, Alabama, and then I finally made it over to here. And this, what was supposed to be like a 3.5 to 4 day trip, turned into like a week-long odyssey. It's like, Jesus, just get me there already, you know? And I picked up these gloves in Little Rock because I got tired of wearing, I think they're GP Plus. They're Alpine Stars racing gloves. I can't remember if they're GP Plus or not. You've seen them. Those things suck ass when it's cold. My hands are going numb and it's like 58 degrees, you know. So I grabbed these things and they helped a lot. And I grabbed some nice thick wool socks and a pair of long johns and hit the road. It actually helped quite a bit. But yeah, it was a miserable fucking ride. It took way too long. And then I get here, the clutch in the truck went out. I mean, damn, you know, how much shit could go wrong? So I had to wait a week and a half while the truck was in the shop and it's raining and I couldn't go do anything because it's raining and cold and all I got's the motorcycle and blah, 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 blah. Needless to say, the first 3 weeks of my move blew ass. But once I got the truck back, it was all good because it didn't matter if it was raining or not. I could actually go do stuff. And have a heater and shit